Hello, everybody. Let's have a mystical conversation, the kind where we lose ourselves in the wonders of divine mysteries, share dreams from the other side, intuitive nudgings, and soul mission yearnings. I'm Rev Sue Frederick, a Unity minister, master numerologist, and author of several books, including the Angel Up trilogy and my newest book, Angels and Numbers, The Sacred Language of Divine Guidance, all available on Amazon to help you find your purpose and receive angelic guidance along the way. Our guest today for this mystical conversation is a dear friend and a beautiful soul. Her name is Irene Vouvalides. She's the Vice President and Conference Director for Helping Parents Heal. You all have heard me talk about Helping Parents Heal for years. It's an international nonprofit organization dedicated to assisting parents whose children have passed. But they are not your typical grief group. They go a step beyond by allowing the open discussion of spiritual experiences and afterlife evidence in a non-dogmatic way. Helping Parents Heal is hosting its third sold out conference in August in a few weeks. And as conference director, Irene is in charge of this highly transformative, multifaceted event. I'm very grateful that she had time today to talk to us. Irene's best friend and only child, her beautiful daughter, Carly, passed to esophageal gastric cancer. This devastating experience sent Irene on a spiritual quest. She has found friends, family, and comfort through helping parents heal. And Irene created a foundation in Carly's honor, Carly's Kids, a foundation for education. Please visit that website, carlyskids.org. She is also the affiliate leader of the Hilton Head Bluffton Helping Parents Heal group, and as well as being the vice president, a caring listener, and the conference director for Helping Parents Heal. Please welcome Irene. So, Irene, let's start with Carly, your daughter.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Sue, for having me and for giving me the opportunity to talk about my beautiful, beautiful daughter. Carly Elizabeth Hughes left this earth in 2013 after a very brief battle with esophageal gastric cancer, unheard of in someone that was 23 years old. But I do want to say that from the time that she was born, I always had this feeling, this knowing that she was not going to be on this earth for a long period of time. I knew it in my soul. And one of my dear friends reminded me that when we had children within days of each other, when our kids had their fourth birthday party, I said to her, will I still be a mom when something happens to Carly? Now, what young mother would even think of saying something like that? But we all know that our soul knows.
Right. Our soul knows.
Our soul knows. And she was just the most incredible human being, full of life, always on the go, exhausted anyone that was friends with her. And when she graduated college, she graduated Boston College, and I turned to my husband, who's not Carly's biological father, and I said, I spent all those years worrying about her. And look, she's fine. She's graduating college. She's going to live in Boston. And within 11 months, she got ill and was diagnosed just a few months later with this horrible cancer and passed just 4 months after her diagnosis,
Well,
which
I can't imagine. I mean, I'm a mom and I know how close you and Carly were. When that happened, Irene, did you believe that you could live on? And did you believe in any kind of spiritual afterlife?
I always had a belief in spirituality. I was raised in the Catholic Church, and was very happy when I was old enough to no longer have to be a part of organized religion. And I believed in an afterlife, I believed in reincarnation, but nothing prepares you for a life altering moment such as having your child pass. And I didn't think I could live. I really did not. And my wonderful husband Tony's first wife passed of pancreatic cancer, and I just said over and over again, Tony can't be twice widowed. That was my mantra. That's what kept me on this earth. My dad was still alive at the time, and I knew I had to be here for my dad and for my husband. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, and I spent more time wanting to be with her than wanting to stay on this earth.
Yeah. And then how did you begin to find HPH and
Oh,
Elizabeth Boisson?
well, I immediately immersed myself in researching about the afterlife. I knew that that love that I had with my child could not have died. I know that her physical body was no longer here, and yes, her body died, but I knew she was somewhere and I had to find her. So I went on a quest, read every book I could find, watched videos, and I read, I think it was about a year after her passing. I wish now that I had written down and journaled early on, but for me, putting it on paper made it real, and I couldn't do it. So my timeline in the beginning isn't completely accurate. But I read Mark Ireland's book, Soul Shift. And when I read that book and knew that he was a part of Helping Parents Heal, he was the co founder, I reached out to him and he put me in touch with the lovely earth angel, Elizabeth Boisson, who, meeting Elizabeth changed my life. As anyone who knows Elizabeth, she truly is not of this earth.
I agree 100%.
She is an earth angel. And at the time that I was speaking with her, my husband and I had decided to leave the New York metropolitan area and move to South Carolina, where we live. We live in Hilton Head. I couldn't be where
Yeah,
Carly grew up, where her treatment was. There
right.
was just too much for me. And some people need to stay in a place where their child lived. I needed to start new. And Elizabeth encouraged me moving to a location where I only knew a few people to, oh, well, you have to start a chapter of Helping Parents Heal. I thought to myself, I
That's
don't know
so
any.
Elizabeth, isn't it?
Yes, I don't know anyone. How am I going to do this? But it just so happened that living next door to me was a reporter for our local newspaper. And we don't have a lot of news here in Hilton Head. And I reached out to her and she said, "Oh, I'd love to interview you and we'll talk about the group that you're starting." And she did. And within a few days, the headline of our local newspaper was Mom Finds Hope in the Afterlife. So I thought, well, I've been outed.
Yeah, definitely.
here we go. And that first meeting, we had about 20 people come at a
Wow.
Unity church, and it was amazing. And Elizabeth was right. I needed to do that here,
Yes.
and Helping Parents Heal changed my life. It gave me
And
hope.
when you say that, I mean, people hear a lot about grief groups, but what was it about helping parents heal specifically that changed your life?
I had attended briefly another, I won't name them, grief group for parents who have children pass after Carly passed, shortly after. And it was the saddest meeting I had ever been to. And there were people that were there that were 10 years out, 20 years out, and they were still sobbing and holding pictures of their children. And I said to myself, I don't want to be that person. That's not who I am, and that's not who Carly is. And I realized in that moment that I had a choice. And I could stay in that dark place like these people, or I could look for the light and I could continue my relationship with Carly. It's different. She no longer walks this earth. I know that. But in helping parents heal, we encourage everyone to talk about their children, to look for the signs, to continue the relationship with them. And that, I'm always a mom, and I we talk about that all the time. You're always a parent. Your child is in spirit now. They're home. We're still in school. We're doing the work, and I'm trying my best to, it sounds funny, but work on my life review so that when it comes time for me to cross over, I'm going to get the fast pass and
Oh
I'll be
my
able
gosh, I
to.
love this, Irene. You and I are such soul sisters, in the way we look at it all. I just love it because you got there so quickly after Carly crossed. You were so determined to find the light. And
Mhm.
that's the choice point that everyone talks about, when they're in devastating grief. They say, I knew I was in a fork in the road. And it was my choice to either stay in the pain and darkness or to look for another viewpoint or to look for the light. And that is what I believe is our whole soul plan thing, is that we have this destiny in the light here, great potential, and our free will decides, are we going to step up to it or are we going to stay in our pain? And you could still be in your pain, and probably not a
Absolutely.
very happy person.
And there are plenty of people that choose that. And
Right,
there's no judgment.
right,
If that's your choice, that's your choice.
right.
But I felt so powerless
Yes,
when she got ill and went through everything that she went through. I could not change anything. Carly's soul plan was to come and live 24 short years and return home. Cancer was the opportunity that presented to take her home.
yes,
Just as for some, it's a car accident, it's suicide, it's whatever it is, it's that opportunity presented itself. And I felt powerful in making that choice to honor Carly and to try to live a productive life. And I have to tell you, and people might not understand this, I am so happy in my life. I have such gratitude for the life that I have, for the people that I've met, such as yourself, for the parents that I've connected with. My best friends are members of Helping Parents Heal,
yes.
people
I
that
mean,
have
it's
experienced.
astounding what you're saying, and I love it so much. And it's so true that when we find our people, and helping parents heal brings us to our people that see it the way, let's look at this in a different way. Let's find our departeds in spirit and have an ongoing relationship with them. It changes everything. And then, like you're doing, we can help others. How
Yes.
would you say running the HPH affiliate groups and helping others has helped you heal?
Every time I speak to another parent, connect with someone else, a little piece of me continues to heal. And I didn't know that that was still ongoing, but it is. I begin every day. I have a gratitude prayer every morning. I put my feet on the ground and I say, how can I honor Carly today? And how can I help someone else? And that's how I live my life.
Oh, Irene, you're so beautiful. I've had chills through your whole story.
Oh, I'm also a caring listener for the organization, which is something that I just love. And I connected with a couple last night, spoke with them for an hour. Their son recently passed of kidney cancer. There are no words, and that's what you say to someone new on this journey. There are no words. Know that your child is with you always, and you'll be able to connect. And she reached out to me this morning and she said, thank you so much. My husband and I had a peaceful night after talking to you. And I had a dream about your daughter,
Oh,
and she was making charcoal drawings with you. And I thought, oh my goodness, I have Carly's sketch pad. She spent a month in Venice fulfilling her fine arts requirement, and she spent the month sketching charcoals. And I
oh
have a
my God.
sketch pad of her charcoal drawings.
And
So,
what's so cool is these were not mediums. These were
no.
parents who were
Parents.
in deep grief who
Deep
you
grief.
had
Yes.
helped. And so Carly in spirit said, well, then let's give my mom this great little sign that I'm
Exactly.
around.
And it's magic. That's what my life is like. You know that, Sue. Your life is
Right?
magical as well. It's not
Pure
all
magic.
magic. You know, of
Right.
course, there's a lot of challenges living here
Yeah.
on planet Earth. There's no question. But doing what I do, I feel so blessed. I
Oh,
really do.
yeah. And I love it that you say it's not all easy because I know your life and I know you've walked through other challenges since Carly, as we all do.
Mhm.
And we have to remember, that we still have a foot in the earth world and a foot in the divine world. So when that pain comes around, when another challenge shows up, now, though, we have the tools from our work with spirit and our work with soul understanding to be able to move through it with a little more grace and a little more light. Would you say that's true in the challenges that you've experienced since
Oh,
Carly?
there's no question about it. My husband went through a very serious health challenge in the past 2 years, and he's okay, and he's healed, and it's fine. But it brought back a lot for me because of Carly's journey, and my helping parents heal friends rallied around me, and people reached out, and mediums reached out, and Carly came to me, and I heard it as clear as a bell. She said, "It's not like me, Mom.
Yes,
It's
yes.
not like me."
Yeah,
And
I
it
think when we were
also,
talking once during it,
yes,
I was saying that that's what I was hearing too from Carly, from Spirit, that you were not going to have to walk through what you walked through with Carly, and she wanted you to know that. Ah,
and I did some trauma work with my sister, who is a trauma recovery
yeah,
specialist, and we did a guided meditation after it. And what came to me is that not all challenges are tragedies.
yes,
And that
yeah.
was so profound, and I have it on a sticky, and I have it right here on my computer to remind me.
You need to write that book, Irene.
Oh boy, add it to the
No,
list of things that need to be done.
I know. Well, I know you're so busy, so I guess we should shift to the conference, but I do want to say, if you wrote that book, Not All Challenges Are Tragedies, you can do it pretty quickly these days because AI will edit it for you, which is a great, wonderful gift, and then get it out to the world. It has your essence in that title. It really does, that you're going to help people see it as not a tragedy, no matter what they're walking through. And that is such a great, great gift.
Thank you.
All right, tell us about your 24/7 job as conference director for Helping Parents Heal.
So back in, I guess it was in 2017 when I became involved with Helping Parents Heal and took an active role in leadership. I had mentioned to Elizabeth that in the past couple of years, I had gone to some afterlife conferences and found such comfort being with the parents that I met up with, and listening to the speakers. And I said to Elizabeth, we should have a conference. and, and
Little did you know.
Sweet Elizabeth said, well, um, do you have any experience in conference planning? I said, no, I'm a retired dental hygienist, but I've been to conferences and I know we can do this. We have the kids on our side. So we talked about it and presented it to the board, and it was scary.
Yeah,
It was a financial commitment. And of course, it was perfect and it was wonderful. And it's become a part of us. So this is our fourth conference. We have 1,100 people signed up for the conference. I am so looking forward to it. All of the work that goes into it and all of the sleepless nights are so worth the 4 days of community that we get to experience. And you've been there, you
oh
know that.
yeah. It's
It's
it's life-changing. I've told everybody that there's no higher frequency event happening on planet Earth than this gathering for the Helping Parents Heal conference. It is beyond any kind of spiritual practices or churches or anything. It has every speaker every teacher shifting that frequency, helping parents seek the light and see their children now in spirit. It's not people on stage going, here's what I can do. There, people on stage are going, parents, you already have connection with your spirit, your child. Here's how to understand it. Here's how to accept it. And every parent is walking around feeling the presence of their child. It is such an extraordinary event. And people go, gosh, it must be so sad. I'm like, sad? Are you kidding? It's the most exhilarating conference I have ever been even aware of in the world.
Oh, thank you, Sue. And it is on Native American land,
Yes.
which the Gila Reservation, which makes it even more special. Jeffrey Olson, our one of our keynotes, who is a shaman, is does a sacred opening ceremony. And at the last conference, when he called upon the light of nature, there was lightning in the sky. It was just so incredible. And it's just filled with moments like that. I had a parent reach out after I think maybe the last conference, and she said that it was life changing. She and her husband came home, and their friends said, "You're like different people. Did you go to a conference or did you join a cult?"
Right.
And she said, "No, it's not a cult, but they had such a change in their
Right.
personality and in their experience with grief."
And how they talk about it. I mean,
And how
that's the difference between an HPH parent and someone who's not aware of these things. You know, to the person unaware, it's a devastating tragedy that you can never move past. And in HPH, we realize, wow, this is a great awakening that I'm experiencing and learning more about love and spirit and soul, and that there's only physical death, but there's not death of the spirit. And I'm a spirit in my core. So now I can dance in that world with my departed beloveds. And here's the other secret of it, Irene, is I don't have a child in spirit. I have other husband and best girlfriends in spirit. But those kids come to me all the time because they know I'm part of HVH. You know, like Carol's son, Tyler, comes and hangs out in my courtyard. I have pictures of him on my Ring camera. And, Jagger, Amber's son, hangs out with me, and Tess, Christy's daughter. They're part of this collective group of spirit who are trying to elevate consciousness. So I guess I'm
yeah.
getting ahead of
No,
myself
no,
here.
no. And Carly, I've had a few mediums say, "Boy, Carly is a great organizer. I see her with a clipboard and she's checking items off." She's come to me at the one of the first conferences. Elizabeth and I were working on registration late at night and trying to figure out how to turn it on and creating it. And I went to sleep that night and I was woken up by Carly, and I heard Carly would say, "Ma, ma, ma." And if I didn't answer her, she'd say, "Irene." So in my own voice, that's what I heard: "Ma, ma, ma. Irene, get up." And I was like, in my own head, what's going on? You left the conference registration on and people are registering. And I said, "No, I didn't, Elizabeth." And I shut that off. Really? 3 o'clock in the morning, I went to the computer. Sure enough, we had left the button on. It wasn't ready. We didn't have the correct pricing, and people had registered.
Oh my gosh, that is the best story ever.
So she's right behind helping me, as
Yeah,
all the kids are. Elizabeth says it all the time. How
that's
could we
right.
how can we not be successful in what we're doing? We've
Yeah,
got all of these kids
that's
behind
right.
us.
That's right. So, who are some of the speakers you have coming up in this amazing conference?
Well, you're a very important speaker at the conference. I'm probably going to forget. David Kessler will be speaking. Suzanne Giesman, Mark Anthony, Jeffrey Olson, Jeff O'Driscoll, Mark Pitstick, Dr. Gary Schwartz, Dr. Mary Neal.
Yes.
It's going to be absolutely incredible.
And these are phenomenal speakers with phenomenal stories to share and so empowering for everyone in the audience. Um, So anyone who's it's already full, so nobody can now register and attend because everything is full in physicality. Is that correct?
We've had some cancellations and we've been
Oh,
filling in, but we are full, but we will get cancellations. It is always worked out that everyone that has wanted to attend in person has been able to.
so where would a person go to register for this if they
You
want
go
to
to our
try?
website, helpingparentsheal.org. Elizabeth's created a wonderful conference tab. It's got a list of all the speakers, the mediums that will be present. And if you can't attend in person, you can purchase the live streaming package.
And so in the live streaming package, they could just sit at home on their computer and watch all the speakers.
They can, and there'll be a couple, all the keynotes and a couple of other breakouts will be live streamed, and then you'll be able to watch it after as well.
So great.
Yeah.
So, as you know, this is such a gathering that we're all just ramped up vibrationally as it gets closer, because the spirits are so close to help us make this happen. And are there any aha moments that you remember, either that happened at the conference that were amazing or just in your interactions with HPH that were kind of like life changing, although I know you're already a completely aware soul, but anything that kind of brought you this aha moment?
Um, at the first conference, there's amazing stories from every conference. At our first conference, a mom came up to me and said she had been in the parking lot and she just wasn't sure if she was going to be able to walk through the door to come to the conference. It was overwhelming. And she spoke to her son and said, "Please, when I walk in, can you please give me a sign that I know I should be there?" And when she came into the lobby, now it was Arizona in April, the first conference, very warm. And there was a display of hockey jerseys behind glass in the lobby. And her son was a hockey player. And of course, his jersey number was one of the
Oh
111.
my God, I have chills again. This is so great. And these are the kinds of experiences everyone has once they're aware, and saying, please give me a sign, etc. And you and I know that eventually that's just your way of life, where,
Absolutely.
you're
Absolutely.
just
We've
right.
had moms at the last conference come running up to us all giddy and excited. They just happened to sit next to each other,
Oh, yes.
and their sons passed on the same exact day, same
Yes.
exact year.
Oh, and there's no coincidences. We don't believe everything is part of this bigger soul plan and divine order. The kids bring people together like that. What I was going to say is one of my favorite places is to be in the restaurant bar at the conference because people just go there between events and you sit at random tables with people you don't know. And of course, by the end of eating, you're all best friends, and there's a reason that you've all been drawn to that table. And it's so phenomenal. There are not words for it.
No,
It's 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 unearthly and it's heavenly.
there really aren't. And at also at the first conference, the person who was in charge of the live streaming, he had his two adult daughters helping him.
Yeah.
And they were both, we didn't know this, very spiritual young girls, lovely, lovely girls. And when he was bringing in all of this equipment, one of the daughters had left equipment somewhere. They couldn't find it. And they were in a little bit of a panic in this ballroom setting up. And one of the daughters looked up and he said, "What's going on?" And she said, "Oh, Chelsea and Morgan just told me where the cameras are. They were left at the curb and someone brought them to the front desk." And he said, "Who are Chelsea and Morgan?" And she said, "I don't know, but they told me." Well,
Oh,
we all know
yes.
Chelsea and Morgan are Elizabeth's two children in spirit.
Oh God, I love this so
So,
much.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, Irene, I just want to say I'm so blessed for the moment that Elizabeth found me and I found Elizabeth that brought me to you, that brought me to Helping Parents Heal. It's really the most meaningful part of my life, and I've lived a long life. And, I've always said if I don't do another thing in my life except be part of helping parents heal, then I've accomplished my soul's mission for this life, you know.
Well, we love you, Sue, and we're so happy you're such a very important part of our organization. And yeah, you just happened to move to Arizona, right in the
No
heart.
coincidences, a couple miles from Elizabeth's house, right? And the other thing that brought me to HPH that was amazing is, I've been working with grieving clients for years, and I would call it grief shifting, helping them connect to their kids in spirit. But I'd somehow never heard of helping parents heal or never crossed paths with it. And then this one client who I'd worked with a lot, who had a son named Jake in spirit. When I moved here, she was talking to me because we've become good friends, and she lives on the East Coast. And she said, "Do you know that you've moved a mile away from Elizabeth Boissant at Helping Parents Heal?" And I was like, "Who? At what?" And she goes, "Oh no, I'm calling Elizabeth. I'm arranging coffee for you two." And literally a month later, I'm sitting at coffee with Elizabeth, Carol, and Lynn, all part of Helping Parents Heal, parents with children in spirit, and having the most amazing conversation of my entire life. And I came home from that and told my husband, Gene, now I know why we moved here. I have found my people.
Yes. And, Elizabeth and I, after, our close friendship, we're sisters. We speak first thing in the morning and last thing at night and all throughout the day. We realized that we were pregnant with Carly and Morgan at the same time. Carly and Morgan were born within a month of each other. And here we are meeting all these years later, and we had that connection with 1988.
So amazing. So
It's the
amazing.
puppet strings just,
Yes.
you know,
And
guiding you along and
yes. And I
wondering what's
always
coming next.
say, it's a choice between, am I going to believe this is a random universe filled with coincidence? Or am I going to say, could there be some form of divine order guiding us along? And as you know, in this vision, the angels showed me that the light is always winning, it is always overtaking darkness, and it is guiding us forward. And when you shift to your viewpoint and say, if there's a divine order, then I know nothing's a tragedy, that everything is bringing me to the new, the next, the greater awareness, the greater love. It is life changing. And for that, I thank you. I thank Helping Parents Heal and the conference. Every website, the only website people need to know is helpingparentsheal.org. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And
Yes.
everything is there. And if you are grieving a child, you have to go to Helping Parents Heal website. There are numerous free videos of speakers. There are caring listeners who listen for free, like Irene. There's a whole team of them that will get on the phone with you and talk to you if you're in deep pain. So, as I say, Irene, I'm your greatest salesperson because if I get a client who does, in fact, I had one this week who has a child in heaven and didn't know about Helping Parents
Oh,
Heal. I spent most of the session telling her about Helping Parents Heal.
yes, we're working on growing our YouTube channel right now. We've got
Yes, that's been
over
great.
200,000 subscribers. We're just close to 1,000 videos that are up on our YouTube channel, and it's
So great.
interviews with everyone in the afterlife community, grief community, healing community.
Yes. And it's all free. People can
Yes,
go there and
all
click on
available.
those videos. Yes.
Yes, and we
Oh,
just try to live the magic. And again, that doesn't mean that there aren't times, of course, I have sad moments. I
yes.
miss Carly. I miss
Yes.
the interaction that I have with her. A few years ago, we had snow here in South Carolina, which is completely unheard of. And I have had Carly's dog, Linus, passed recently. We got Linus when she was diagnosed. She said, I have cancer. I have a dog. You can't say no. And we got this beautiful puppy who she only got to spend 4 months with. We moved to South Carolina. One of her best friends moved shortly after us and at the time was living with us. And it was snowing outside. And Kayla had Linus out in the snow. And Linus was running around in the snow, and I looked out the front door. I wasn't going to go out in the snow. And I said, "Oh, Carly would so love being here in this moment." Soon as I said that, a car stopped right in our driveway. A young woman got out with a little boy and said to Kayla, "Would it be okay if my little boy played in the snow with your dog? He loves dogs." And Kayla said, "Sure, whatever his name is." And she said, "Thank you so much. My name is Carly."
Ah, you can't make this up. Oh
It's
my
not the most
goodness.
common name.
Oh my God, Carly. Oh, thank you,
So
Carly.
Carly and her little son played with Linus in the snow, and again, that moment of sadness dissipated into
Yes,
just a moment of joy.
yes. Oh, Irene, thank you so much. And is there anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
Oh, just know that your loved ones in spirit are with you always. Just, find your people. Um, I have come to understand that I am a very small part of such a big, big universe, and there's just so much to explore, and life can be a wonder. It really can be, and we look forward to just each day and connecting with someone new. And we just love Sue and everything that Sue does for helping parents heal. You are just such a bright light.
Love you so much. Thank you for this and many, many blessings.
Thank you.